Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, without no doubt.
Please relax and prepare for takeoff.
You're wild, man. Wild.
Just right now, we start the show.
Are you ready?
I thought so.
Welcome to Revelator, episode 259. My welcome back musical guest, the Glorious Sons, and their guitar player, Jay Emmons, talking about the band's Young Beauties and Fools album and their newly announced 2019 headlining tour in the United States. Jay and I talk about this and a whole lot more, including setlist writing, playing old songs, and new songs. Here's my interview with Jay from the Glorious Sons.
You guys are out of Nashville, right?
Yeah, man.
Your podcast, I feel like we should probably touch on that then.
I think I've been to every single one of your guys' Nashville shows, actually.
Oh, sweet. Nice.
It's I think I met you and Brett. I think one of the shows you guys played, and it might even be almost 5 years ago now, man, where you guys played a show with Rave and I at the High Watt, and I think even before that you guys opened up for 10 years, I think.
Yeah, we opened up for 10 years at High Watt, and then we did do another show right after that too. We've been to High Watt or what's that other room? The smaller room is where we used to play.
Mercy Lounge.
Yeah, we played there a ton of times.
Nashville is a hard place for bands outside of the area to kind of crack, and I feel like the last 2, maybe even 3 times, I think you guys have drawn really well for a band that not from the States, and you guys have drawn pretty well, man.
It's starting to really pick up, like the radio and everything. I mean, next time we hope to sell out. I think we're playing High Water, Mercy Lounge again, so we'll sell it out, I think.
Very cool, man.
Should be ideal.
Hopefully we can get together next time. Next time you guys come through, man.
Of course. We'll get together and have a beer or something before the show.
Yeah, definitely. No, I would like that, man. I haven't seen you guys. We did an interview. I think Brett and I did an interview on your guys' tour bus in the parking lot, actually at the Mercy, like 3 or 4 years ago. I expect you guys to remember that. It was a while back, but there's a lot to get with you guys. First off, I guess we'll start with the latest album, man. It's about a year old now. What's the feedback been like? I know you guys kind of had like a hiatus of sorts. I guess hiatus is probably lack of a better word there, but taking a little bit of time off in between albums, and then to have this album come out and to be perceived and received as well as it has been. Was there any reservations about it, or how it was going to be perceived or received from people?
I don't think once we made the album there was any reservations that we had done something really special. We kind of all really, right away kind of realized that the power that these songs had. It was, I think the main reservations were trying to figure out how to get there. And that's why we kind of didn't really have a hiatus. I guess we had one fall where we didn't tour since we've been a band. So I wouldn't call that a hiatus, but we were kind of trying to get our shit together creatively to figure out how to make that next step. And I think that was kind of where, if there was any reservations, it was because we'd had false starts in the studio. We'd come out with some great songs, but it was mostly Brett who really knew we could push the envelope further, but he just didn't know how at that point. So Brett was kind of the driving force behind, getting to this great sound that Young Beauties and Fools kind of encapsulates.
Well, I've told everyone that I come across. I'm like, if you haven't heard the Glorious Sons, you need to check these guys out. If I had to pick an album of the year for 2018, I would pick your guys' album. I love that album, start to finish. Even still to this day, a year later, I still listen to it. And I always tell people there's a lot of going on in the music right now where it's very fast and quick, and it's very sugar rush music, and it's all built for streaming and everything. That's where the industry is. You can go whatever your opinion on that is, that could be a whole other conversation in itself. But your guys' album, and even the previous album, is one of those albums that 10, 15 years from now, are you still going to want to pick it up and listen to it? And the answer is yes. And that's really how I'm judging music nowadays. Is are you making stuff that has substance and emotion and feeling to it, and are you still going to want to listen to it 10 to 15 years later? And again, the answer is yes. And kudos to you for writing an album that one is just great storytelling, great songwriting. You mentioned, obviously Brett as a lyricist. Do you, being his brother, do you kind of push him to kind of be better and to push the envelope musically and lyrically?
You know what? It's more like Brett is a very powerful creative force. So it's more like, sometimes you got to support him in any way you can to kind of like help get to the end goal. Like, so, sometimes it's like, just stay the hell out of his way and let him do it and, trust his instincts. And sometimes it's like, for a lot of the songs we sat in Young Beauties and Fools, we sat in a room and kind of really turned over every stone. Every word on there was a microscope, and that was kind of driven through the producers. But we were all there helping, giving our feedback kind of all at once. So it was kind of like we had these songs and then we put them under a magnifying glass and kind of tried to find if there's any weaknesses or if there's anything we could do better. And, but as far as creatively goes, like, it's not really about helping Brett. It's kind of, or not really about, well, I guess helping. It's more of like letting him do his thing and then filling in the pieces that he can't do on his own. So, like a lot of the guitar parts and the, some of the melodic harmonies and stuff. Coster's a big part in that. It's kind of like a team where everyone has a job, and you got to know your place and you do your job, and that's how the Glorious Sons come up with the.
Yeah, no, I dig it, man, and I appreciate you sharing a little light as far as the process is concerned. I know you probably end up talking about that stuff a lot, but obviously playing this album live for almost a year now. Do you have favorite songs off the album, and do any songs take on maybe a different meaning as they did maybe a year ago?
Let me think. Like, I honestly don't listen to the album that much after we release it. Because we listen to it so much before you release it, your ears are burnt out on it.
Yeah.
Initially, I think I really liked, Thank You for Saying Goodbye and Hide My Love. I'm kind of drawn to the like softer melodic, more heartfelt tunes. I really like Godless. I liked each of the songs for different reasons. The one that I didn't really get my head wrapped around, but I'm starting to come around more now, is My Blood.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you guys played that live.
No, we've never performed it live, actually.
Wow. Okay. Is that something you might want to? I was gonna say, is that something you kind of mix in later on?
Yeah, we definitely talked about doing that. So.
Now, we were talking earlier that you guys are going to be announcing a North American tour for 2019. Is that that's going to be a headlining tour, correct?
Yeah. Right now, we plan on headlining the U.S. in, I guess, early spring, late winter 2019. So we'll be essentially just kind of following in the tracks that we just did on the Welshly Arms support run. Except headlining all the rooms. And, we're pretty stoked for it. We haven't actually done a successful full-on U.S. headlining run, and we expect big things out of it. So,
well, I'm sure you guys.
We're excited.
Rightfully so. I think the buzz is generating big time for you guys. Obviously, radio play plays a part in it, and just being out on the road and just hitting city after city, which you guys have done year after year now. As far as set list writing is concerned, we get into this new tour. How much of the older stuff do you try to mix in on a headlining set? I noticed like Lightning and stuff like that. You guys haven't been playing much. Is that something you kind of will mix up maybe on a headlining tour when you get obviously a chance to play longer sets?
Yeah. So I guess. To answer that question, we just started our Canadian headline run 2 nights ago, and when I saw the set list, I was like, "Holy shit! Is there anything we're not playing?" So we did about 2 hours, maybe just over 2 hours straight. So
Oh wow.
the only songs we didn't really play were probably like My Blood, a couple off the Union, like maybe 3 or 4 off the Union that we didn't play, and I don't know. There wasn't too many songs we didn't play on that. So,
Damn it.
so
Well, that's
I mean, you can expect to see more of that.
Well, that's what happens when you guys write so many damn good songs, man. It's hard to figure out what
Yeah.
you don't want, what you want to leave off, what you want to play, man. That's a good problem to have, though. You know that we have so many damn good songs that we just play. We have too much to play. There's a lot of bands out there that wish they had that problem.
Yeah, I really enjoy playing the old stuff. So, like, you know, you see something on a set list that you haven't played in a while. It's exciting because you can get kind of bored doing the same songs every night. I don't typically like to do that. So, you know, if you haven't played Lightning in like a month and you can see it on the set list, it kind of gets you amped up.
Yeah, definitely, man. I like the old stuff. The new stuff is great too. I got to ask, shifting gears on you here a little bit, and again, I appreciate the time, Jay. Halloween just ended. I was curious, did you and Brett ever dress up as like a combo, as a pairing during Halloween and all his kids? Is there anything that you remember?
I think like it was more like maybe me taking Brett trick or treating because I was so much older than him. I'm 7 years older, so I probably would have taken him out or something when he was super young, and I was like a teenager or something. So, but no, we never done that.
You steal all his Reese cups and stuff, and
yeah, exactly.
Well, I didn't realize you guys were that far apart, man. I thought you guys maybe were a little closer in age there. So I guess that
yeah,
makes
he's
sense.
26 and I'm 33. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I didn't realize the age difference there, but I imagine with touring with your brother, there's obviously certain things that come into play there. Do you have any interesting stories on the road you care to share as far as touring with your brother or just meeting people in general?
Well, I guess those are two separate questions. Touring with Brett, I think we've learned over the years how to tour each other peacefully. It comes with growing up, and getting older, and then knowing your limits and stuff. Brett's recently quit drinking, so that means I tend to drink, but if both of us were drinking at the same time, that used to be fire and gasoline sometimes. So, I think that's really helped us not get into stupid fights. Usually we were just arguing the same point back and forth anyways. So we're on the same side, we're just saying it differently. But, I really feel like this tour has been one of the smoothest tours we've ever done. It's the longest one, so that's saying something. We're learning how to, coexist in a respectful manner. It was never we hated each other. It was just we would get in these blowouts every now and then, and we're brothers, and we'd apologize the next day. But it's a lot easier to tour without doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Well, Jay, best of luck to you guys on the Canadian tour, and looking forward to the big announcement and all the dates being released for the North American tour for 2019. After as you mentioned earlier, this is the longest tour you guys have done in a while. What's the first thing you guys do as a band when you get home from a tour like this? What's the first thing you typically do? Visit family, kind of take a break from one another for a week or something, or what do you enjoy doing when you get home?
We stay the hell away from each other for sure. Even if we have a day off, you spend so much time in close quarters that it's nice to just kind of be alone for a bit. That being said, it's for me, I love to go home and see my dog and my mom and dad and all my buddies back in Kingston. And I think everybody, our drummer Adam, he's got a dog that, when you're out for 3 or 4 months, you really start to miss that. because they are like your best buddy when you're home, and then you're, without them for that long, it's pretty tough. And then, everyone just sees friends and families and kind of goes back to normal life before we were in a band. You just kind of do the normal stuff.
Very cool. Now, one thing there's on the live album you guys did, and I think Brett during the live album has mentioned something before you guys were called the Glorious Sons. You were called Pete Rose and the Gamblers. Is that true?
Yeah, for a couple shows we were definitely called Pete Rose and the Gamblers.
That's great, man.
It was back when probably, I don't know if Brett was even in the band at that point. They were playing a small club in Kingston called Brandy's. It's recently shut down, but we'd have a Thursday night gig. I think we did that for 2 years. That's kind of how we honed our chops, I guess.
Now, do you remember any of the names you didn't select before selecting Glorious Sons? Do you remember like there being a list of names there, and what eventually led you to the name? I honestly
can't tell you. I think Adam came up with the name, and we were just like, yeah, that's a sweet name. Let's just go with it. Because it's so hard to pick a decent band name.
Right. Yeah, you got to Google everything and figure out who has this and who has that, and is there a website, a domain? There's all kinds of stuff that goes on with it there. But I was just curious. I ask a lot of people that because everyone get asked a band question. I'm curious about other names that might have been on the list that you may recall. But well, J-Man, I'll let you run, man. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing?
No, just thanks for having us on the podcast. I'm sorry it was such a pain to get us on here.
Dude, trust me, man. I've been doing this for. I don't know, 260 shows or something now. Trust me, and you guys are not a pain at all. I'm a fan of you guys musically. I've supported you guys from the first time I saw you. Play that 30-minute set at Mercy with 10 years, almost 5 years ago until now, man. You guys keep doing what you're doing. I know it's not easy to be out on the road, months on end, traveling up and down the highways and stuff. There's a lot that goes into it, and I appreciate the time, and I always support you guys when you come back through Nashville, man.
Sounds good. Yeah, reach out and we'll grab a beer before the show or after the next show or whatever. We'll be back.
Yeah, sounds great, man. It is
February.
Glorious Sons here on Revelator. Thanks, brother.